of which then 95 million by 2020, which is next year, do not have the right skill sets to fill in those positions. And I can go on about those in a bit. Talent development. Now, how many of you here have enjoyed a very active talent development in your career? Where the kind of trainings that you've gone to, the kind of trainings that you've been sent to, has directly contributed to the success of your career? Not many. Right? A lot of the times, how we say we have succeeded in our career is just my work experience, the number of years I've had, and the kind of targets that I achieve, the KPIs that I achieve. Now, what is the point of doing talent development if that is the only way of recognizing success? If that's the only way of recognizing how to move up the ladder? So especially when you're talking about when 15% of employees believe that the opportunities to develop the skills for the future are not given to them. Right? So remember, the last slide was talking about how many skills are needed, but at the same time, a lot of employees feel that they're not given the opportunity to learn those skills. Opportunities that we've seen, that I've seen, is especially now a lot of organizations are saying, oh, we want to go into digital strategy. We want to digitalize our company. We want to be a digital service to our customers. Perfect. How many of your people are ready for digital technology? How many of them have the digital savviness to understand what that means? Right? So that's the point of view most of us don't have. Sorry, the last slide is running. One size fits all development. So this is in a sense where, using that digital example, okay, all of you, we are sending you for digital training. Right? Great. But what is the point when statistics show that 62% of managers that have the learning believe that the learning program are ineffective in meeting the learning needs of the employees? Which means the moment your manager sends you, there's a 62% chance that they think that this development is useless. Right? Think about that. So that means most of the time, and I'm sure most of you have gone through this, the development that I've gone through is just for me to meet that criteria of doing development. Let me check in the number of hours that I've done development this year. Let me check in the number of workshops that I have to attend. As part of my KPI, I have to attend these number of workshops. I'm doing it for the sake of doing it. Why? Right? So as of this, even 40% of employees with poor training will actually leave within the first year. And this is a trend that I see both happening in the Philippines as well as Malaysia, where a lot of the new employees, a lot of your fresh grads coming in will leave within the first year. Why? Because they feel that I am not being taken care of. My development is not being taken care of. The company I'm working for do not believe in my career. That's why a lot of the times, if you really think about it, and it was mentioned earlier, fresh grads coming out say, I want to join a startup. I want to join a tech startup. Right? Purely because I believe that if I join a tech startup, that tech company will provide me the skills and knowledge that I need to get ready for the digital world. Why should it only be tech startups that provide that kind of skills? Why should it only be tech companies that provide employees the ability and the readiness to be ready for the digital world? Right? Close to $359 billion are spent globally on development. 359 billion is spent where 62% of managers believe it doesn't work. 359 billion is spent where 40% of employees feel it doesn't work. Right? We've all heard the definition of crazy. It's where you're doing the same thing again and again and again and expecting a different result. And on top of this, not only are we not developing them for the right skills that we need, 90% of the skills will also be lost even when we do develop them, purely because we don't commit them to what they've learned, purely because we do not put them in the right roles that they need in order to learn and enable the skills that they've learned. And finally, succession planning. Succession planning. So how many of us here have gone through, sat down with our bosses, sat down with the HR, and say, this is where I want to be in the next 7 years. Please tell me, how do I get there? Other than the jobs I need to grow into, what are the skills that I need? What do I need to develop on in order to get myself ready for that role? How long would it take me to get there? This is what we talk about when we say proactive succession planning. Proactive succession planning right now is a little bit of an oxymoron. Right? There's no such thing as proactive succession planning. It's succession, let alone succession planning itself. Right? So when we talk about succession planning, we want to firefight the flight risks. Okay? Especially now when you are having the younger generation joining. Right? I was sharing this now with some of the guests here. People born in the year 2000 are starting to join the workforce. These are people who grew up with technology. These are people who I have a cousin who asked me, why does the save button look like a box?